Welcome back to the Thrive 360 podcast. My name is Mitch McKinney. I'm the founder of Thrive 360 Ministries, which is a ministry that is dedicated to helping people lead healthy and finish well. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to encourage you and invite you to like and subscribe to this channel. If it's on YouTube or whatever platform you're viewing this through, it would be greatly appreciated. Friends, you are in for a treat today. We are in for a treat today because we have a rock star with us on the podcast. My friend, Covyn Montemayor. Covyn, welcome to the podcast.
I'm so excited to do this.
Thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I've been looking forward to this. Super excited to have you on for many reasons. One is because we are OG friends. Like we have known each other forever. I won't say how long that we've known each other, but we've known each other a long time.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. So it's good to have you from that standpoint. But I'm also interested and excited to have your perspective on what we're doing. As you know, they don't know, but what you know is that you serve as one of our facilitators at our retreats. The way we serve leaders at Thrive is we have different retreats. And so we have retreats for men who are in ministry, women, and then couples. And you have been kind of helping lead the charge for women who are in leadership. So I want to jump into I have all kinds of questions for you. But before we get into that, just kind of give us who is Covyn Montemayor? Tell us who you are, a little bit about you.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm a licensed acupuncturist. That's like my day job. I get to...
So you poke people with needles.
I do.
And they pay you money for that.
They do, surprisingly. I've been doing that clinical work for quite some time, and it's really quite fascinating and interesting, and it kind of uniquely touches on a lot of the stuff that we get to do with Thrive as it relates to just overall well-being. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about what I do.
How did you get into that?
Curiosity.
Really?
You know, curiosity's drawn me into a number of different avenues.
Yeah. And
as it relates to that career is definitely curiosity, and it's a very different way of viewing health and well-being and all those things.
Yep. So health and well-being has been an area of interest for you for a long time.
Absolutely.
What about the leader space? So you are one of our facilitators, and it's not because we're making you do it. It's because you have a heart for it. You see the need for it. Why is leader health so important to you? Why are you doing the work that you're doing with us?
Yeah. Well, so anyone in a leadership role is going to have a certain sphere of influence. Now, what happens within that sphere of influence and also how big that sphere of influence is dependent on the individual's well-being. Yeah. And so if they're not mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically doing well, then what's happening within that sphere of influence is compromised potentially, or it's maximized.
Right.
And so it's meaningful work because we get to partner with people who have spheres of influence already, and oftentimes spheres of influence that I wouldn't have access to.
Right.
And so to be able to pour into those people so that they can pour into their communities in meaningful ways, that's just amazing.
Yeah. Like sometimes we think of our well-being, our personal well-being, like it's just impacting me, which it does, but it also has an impact on everyone around us because the best version of me enables me to be the best version of me to those around me. So if I'm healthy, then I can be, if I'm the best me, then I can be the best me. I can also be the best husband, the best mom, the best friend that I can be to those. And we usually think of that kind of in a negative way, like, man, like, this is going to have a ripple impact in a negative way if you're unhealthy. But there's also the positive side. Like, if you're healthy, then you can, to your point, you can spread that healthy into those around you.
Yeah, you get to keep people accountable. You get to encourage and inspire people to do the same work that you're doing. And I think oftentimes as leaders, it kind of can feel vulnerable, or like we shouldn't share that part of taking care of ourselves or prioritizing taking care of ourselves. But when we do, we're actually freeing other people up to say, hey, actually, I should be doing this as well. You know, I can have a plan to manage my well-being.
Yeah. At the retreats and on the podcast, we've talked a lot about drift and how it happens and the causes of it and the consequences of it. At the retreats that you're involved with and that you're leading, when the leaders are coming through, are you seeing any common issues or kind of any core causes to the drift that we're seeing?
Absolutely. I'd say just a lack of presence. I think it's so easy to just be in the midst of everything that we're doing.
Right.
And, from a vocational standpoint, from a relational standpoint, family dynamics, there's so many things on our plate at any given moment.
Yeah.
And so it's so easy to not be aware of what's actually happening or even be aware of our needs. And so
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I get what you're saying.
yes. And so that lack of presence or lack of intentionality with it is often what you find yourself further down the line than you realized you were going.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I like about the retreats is it's an opportunity to force some presence, force some awareness to what's actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely one. When I went through my season of burnout, I can remember seeing a video of myself at Christmas. So we were all together, and when you look through the video and it pans through everybody, I'm sitting there and I'm present, but I'm not there. I am so far away, and I could see that physically. So that's good. Are there any other common issues?
I think the practice of it. So let's say someone is in the awareness of like, okay, I need to be intentional about certain things, but they're not creating space to actually practice it out. We don't really form habits overnight. There's a work to creating space to do those things or to check in with yourself or all those things.
Do you scold them when they come and they don't make the space and they're not present? Do you get in their face? Because I know that's how you are, Covyn. That's your natural personality, right?
Yeah, that's really
to scold them.
Really it.
That's one of the things I love about the retreats, right? Like it's a balance between a combination of work and play, where we're going to dig in and we're going to do some work, where we want to make sure that we have clear understanding and the knowledge we need and the tools that we need to get healthy. But we'll also give people the space to rest and to reflect and be alone in that space. Because to your point, I don't know how intentional people are nowadays of saying, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just going to be still. You probably have that time in your life, don't you?
I've started practicing Sabbath, but it's only once a month because weekly is just a little bit too hard for me right now. But creating space within time to just be has been such a gift to me. But I will say it's been a difficult practice for sure.
Yeah. I'm assuming your phone is not.
Phone's not that involved on my Sabbath, which, it's amazing how quickly I tend towards that. It's a tough day for me, honestly.
Yeah. Sabbath rhythms and Sabbath living is big. It's huge. Obviously, we were created to that degree, but so often we're neglecting it. Yeah. There's so much more I want to get to, and I think we're gonna do another podcast on Enneagram because you are in my opinion, our Thrive 360 Enneagram guru. I've got tons of questions to ask you there, but as we kind of close out this episode, this conversation on just leader health, let's just say there's a leader right now who's tuning in, and they're not in a good place. Maybe they feel alone. They feel unseen, they feel unsupported, they feel unheard, whatever it is. Do you have any guidance for them right now? I mean, we can't solve all the problems, but are there some next steps that you would encourage them to take? Yeah,
I think the first one would just be accepting that that's how they're feeling and allowing themselves to feel that, but also not sitting in it. There's a lot of action we can take, and they might be in an environment where they aren't supported. That might be a really true scenario and a really valid feeling to it. But I think we all have a lot of power in our lives to reframe things, to have hard conversations, to kind of take responsibility for things. And so I would start with those feelings are valid. And then I'd go through the process of, all right, where are those feelings starting from? And are there ways that I can reframe this? Are there things that I need to be doing? To wrap a scripture into this, Romans 12:18 is the verse about doing everything within our ability to be at peace, right? And so we often think of peace as peacekeeping, just kind of like, don't say anything, just let it be. And what that creates is a lot of feelings on our end of, well, I've got to this is where I'm at. I
Yeah.
have to do this. It creates a lot of shame.
Yeah.
But if we kind of reframe that to be peacemaking, and so then there's an action to creating peace.
Yeah.
And I think as believers, it's our responsibility to create an environment that fosters peace, and oftentimes that demands some action. And
Yeah.
so you might be feeling a lot of those things that you had said, but
Right.
there might be things that you can take and create that community and create that peace for yourself, but also for the other people in that environment as well.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. The leaders that you've served and had the privilege to work with at the retreats, is there a story that kind of stands out to you? Not name, obviously, and a lot of details, but like how have you seen the retreat work that we do impact a leader?
Yeah, well, kind of to what I was saying earlier about the drift as it relates to presence. I'm thinking of one leader who came through really new to ministry, had a fantastic career in healthcare, and just felt like God was transitioning her into a season of working in ministry. And so that's what she was doing. And she was new and already kind of leaning towards that burnout trend. And it was a wake-up call for her.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of presence of like, oh gosh, a lot of people, I'm meeting a lot of women who've been in ministry for a long time and they've burnt out a couple times. And so for her, it was that kind of cold water in the face of, okay, I need to start being intentional. I need
Right.
to create time, create practices so that I don't land in this position.
Yeah. It's one thing to go through burnout once, but to have another season and another season. Like I think about my life, I've had one really, really devastating season. But when I pull back and look at, I've been in ministry over 20 years. I've definitely had more seasons. And it was like, well, what took me so long to break the cycle? And it was like the awareness, and it was the tools. And so that's really good. I am really looking forward to getting to the Enneagram stuff with you. I got tons and tons and tons of questions. And so make sure you all tune in for that conversation. Between now and then, please like and subscribe this channel on YouTube or whatever platform you're tuning in on. And also, I want to encourage you to sign up for our monthly health check. It's a resource that's focused on leader health. It's free to you. All you have to do is go to our website, thrive360.com, all words, thrive360.com. You can sign up for it there, and we'll get that to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to our next conversation. God bless. We'll see you next time.